Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be taking this OEM front radiator that I had strategically remounted and located in the rear. I'm going to be taking this thing out because essentially the core is just too small. I got a pretty kick-ass deal on an RS1 radiator with the shroud, both fans, everything. This thing is pretty good size. We're going to put it in here and it's going to outfit this machine perfectly for all the other swap stuff that we did. Stay tuned, I'll show you what I did. Anyways, I'm gonna take this radiator out. We got these 4 bolts to undo. One of the things that I have to do is I have to put a clamp on these 2 lines here so I don't lose all my coolant. I'm also going to start figuring out how I'm gonna create the mounting system for the RS1 because it's gonna have a totally different system. We'll see what we can come up with. So a long time ago, I had the pleasure of getting gypped by a guy who was a mechanic. Well, at least I thought he was a mechanic. And although while he may have known very, very little about my car or just cars in general, he did show me something that was pretty neat. So these here are vice grips, but essentially they have a special jaw on them, and what they're used for is for clamping coolant lines. And I just so happened to end up with one and bought myself a second one. So these are really handy when you're doing jobs like what I'm doing right now. Essentially, you can come in here and clamp these bad boys on, and it will pinch that line and it won't let the coolant come out. So basically now all I have to do is deal with the coolant that's in the radiator, but I've sealed off my system in my engine, and then all I have to do is just top off the radiator when I make the swap. Good stuff. All right, so now you guys can see how awesome these things are. I just went ahead and cut these lines because I'm not gonna take apart the whole shroud and everything to make this work. I'm cut for time. Just went ahead and cut the wires. I gotta splice on some new plugs anyways because we're going to 2 fans. So now what we'll do is we'll get the RS1 radiator up in there and try and figure out what we're going to do with it. All right, so now you can see the size difference between the 2 radiators. And I just got this shroud mounted onto this one here. Just got to tighten these 6 bolts. We got one on top, one on bottom, 2 on each side. And then there's 4 mounting points. So there's this one here, this one here in the corner, and then there's 2 on the front piece right here that are actually perpendicular to the side tanks. So this will be interesting. It's going to be a little bit different than my last one, but simple. We're going for function here because this is obviously a stock cage, and I don't plan on keeping it that way for very long, especially with all these races we're going to win. Well guys, I went ahead and used my old Trail Star audio clamps as my mounting points there for the front. I got to build some little brackets here for the side, and I'll figure I'll probably mount those, up a little bit, probably like so. Give that a good lean. This is gonna work pretty damn slick. All right, don't mind my mess, all right? I got a lot of shit going on. Okay, so I'm gonna take these old light mounts and I'm gonna use these to make myself a radiator mount. And I'm gonna use this top eyelet for my bolt hole. And yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut this flange off here. I'm gonna cut this excess stuff off, and we're just gonna use this part. And at the base of this, it's got these 4 holes here. So these will be nice to use to mount some bolts through and keep it centered. And it's even got a cool little look to it. So here we go, cut away. So I went ahead and cut these, grounded off the edge there. Now I'm gonna make a bend. I'm gonna do it right here across this hole. I'm just gonna use the little vise. I'm just gonna take it right here and then bend it across. So now we have these, and basically all I did was put it in there straight upside and then just folded it all the way across. Did one on each side, just like so. Now we've got 2 little brackets. I'll bolt this side down to the body. This side will be bolted to the radiator. we got our mount there. It could be bent a little bit more. We'll adjust that when the time comes. I'm gonna rotate this mount just slightly, just to make it sit perfectly level. Other than that, we just have to hook up the hose lines and then solder in the connectors. I'm gonna take off these two butt connectors here. I'm gonna put on some of my own, and then I'm gonna hook 2 plugs onto this wire end. Now, I ran a relay with some really thick wire for this, so just keep that in mind. You don't wanna run small wires to run 2 big old fans, because you're just gonna overload the circuit, and then everything's gonna get hot, start melting housing, and then you start shorting stuff out, and then fires happen. So. Ta-da! I did it. Check this out. We now have the RS1 radiator mounted, secured, plumbed up. We've got all our hoses routed up to it. I really like this radiator because the hose outlets are actually in the front. I went ahead and used some of these nice little elbows. That was part of the setup for the RS1. I went ahead and I put both these plugs together on a really big plug, and I just went ahead, 1 plug, both fans. So basically they're both gonna work at the same time. And yeah, it'll work just like the single core, the smaller core, just with 2 fans and stuff now. More efficient. All right, so I finally got this damn tube in here. Got my clutch cover on. Now all we gotta do is prime the system. I'm gonna use some of this Prestone 50/50 pre-diluted extended life antifreeze coolant, Preluido Larga Duracion Anticongelante Refrigerante. Do not add water. No agregue agua. All right, guys, so it's been a couple days. We've done a few changes, a couple things that came up. So we're not going to be going to Texplex. Therefore, we're not going to be running the Hoosier tires. I had my good buddy William Key hook me up. He sent me out his stock wheels and tires, his Bighorns, dang old Bighorns. So we're going to run these. And I did a couple of height adjustments just to get myself set up correctly. But we're going to be racing out at a place called like Fearless Motocross or something like that. And it's not like a series race or anything. It's just a Saturday races thing. And going to go meet some buddies out there. But I'm going to have some cameras going. I got a camera mounted on my helmet. Take the old page out of the old Bama Trail Riders, old Lucho, Adam. What's up, fellas? Hee hee. All right. Well, the radiator works awesome. And yeah. Hope to either see you guys out there or check out the video afterwards. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys here soon. Later.